Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful.
But let's move on to some more movie news. We all love Transformers.
The early ones. Early ones.
I like the first one. The second one was okay. And from there, they just lost me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had Transformers The Last Night, which is the 5th installment of the franchise, came out this past week. 6 months ago, most box office pundits would have guessed that Transformers The Last Night would be a $1 billion hit. However, its North American debut points to some serious audience fatigue. So it opened on Wednesday.
Ooh, that's not a good number.
With a disappointing $15.7 million. Dark of the Moon made $37 million, and Revenge of the Fallen made $62. So it basically had an over 50% drop from the previous installment. Tracking pointed to a 5-day haul of $70 to $75 million, a huge dip from Transformers Age of Extinction's $100 million haul, but Wednesday's number signals a disappointing $65 million. So, not doing very well in theaters, not doing very well
anywhere.
Yeah, like in people's opinions.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's audience fatigue? Do you think the franchise is just not that good? Is it time to reboot it, do something else with it?
I think, because a lot of people talking about Marvel fatigue, superhero fatigue, I don't think we're at that moment, at that part yet. But when it comes to Transformers, you're not really getting new things with them. I mean, it's robots trying to take over the world. This time, Optimus is kind of brought back as a villain. But, I mean, I just feel like you're getting really fatigued with this. I think, like you said earlier, talking about the animation, rebooted as, like, the animated series or, like, something. But something has to change. I really hope they're not that, because there's supposed to be more than this, I believe. Isn't there, or is this the last one? I can't remember. I've literally have not kept up with this. Like, I have not seen the one last night. I have not seen the one before that.
I think the franchise should be rebooted. Like, I don't think Transformers should just go away, period.
No.
I think it needs to be rebooted, but needs to go away for a few years.
Yeah. Let us want it to come back. Don't keep forcing it down our throats.
No Michael Bay. And I would do like a CG animation or like a traditional style animation like the old cartoon. Because I think like some of the effects are great, but I feel like Transformers doesn't work as well in live action as it would in animation.
I agree.
And I was never really a Transformers fan growing up. Like, I was excited for the original movie when it came out because I knew how big of a franchise Transformers is. Yeah. So I was like, sure, I'll go support the cause. And the first one, I thought it was actually pretty good.
Now, I loved, like, growing up, I watched every one of the cartoons. I had the toys. As an adult, I'm still playing a Transformers game. Mm-hmm. But as someone who's loved the franchise and everything like that, these last 3 movies have just been
Yeah.
Worse than It's meh.
Meh.
So I think that they just need to kind of chill for a few years and just kind of reboot it with different cast and everything like that. I think a lot of the issue was getting rid of Shia LaBeouf, which is we apparently know, like, in this new movie they tell us why he left.
Really? Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Oh.
Like, obviously I haven't seen it, but I've heard it. I'm going to try to watch the 4th one sometime this week so I can watch the new one. I'm not watching it in theaters. I'm gonna wait for it to come out on DVD or Redbox or something.
Yeah.
But
I saw the one before that was Mark Wahlberg's first.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Then I have seen that one. They just keep getting worse to me with each installment.
I agree.
But I thought them, bringing the Dinobots in was pretty cool. But,
Yeah.
And like I said, some of the effects are great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Michael Bay is a great visual director, but he's not a good director.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Story,
Yeah.
Explosions, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are...
Should be left dead.
Yes. Fox is
I hate
reportedly working on yet another reboot of the Fantastic Four.
Just let it be. Just stop.
It seems Fox is determined to keep those Fantastic Four film rights for Marvel, as a fresh rumor insinuates that the studio is working on a new cinematic take for Marvel's first family. So, long story short, Fox wants to do another Fantastic Four film. And even recently, they were saying they were going to make a sequel to that atrocity that was...
I still haven't seen it.
Fanforstic, as I like to call it. Worst superhero movie ever made.
Yeah.
Like, worse than Batman and Robin.
Holy rusted metals, Batman.
It's that bad. So they want to do, if this rumor is true, they want to do like a family-friendly take on the Fantastic Four and make it something like The Incredibles. Now, I'm not against Fantastic Four being a more family-friendly film. I just have no faith in Fox to do it.
Fox craps on everything. Like, I feel like, Ben and Reed and all of them are just kind of like laying on the ground, like half passed out, and Fox has a stick, and they're like, hey, let's do something. Wake up, get up. Hey, keeps poking a stick at them.
Hey, we need you again.
And I'm just like, let them sleep. They need a break. Fox, you're killing them. Like, literally, you're sapping the love that everybody has for the Fantastic Four, and you're sapping it out. You're just pulling it out. You're breaking our hearts. I love the Fantastic Four. Great story. Go to space, get affected, come back down, superpowers. I mean, great villains.
Love Dr. Doom.
Such potential. Just give it to somebody who's not an idiot. Fox.
Now, the first two movies, did you like those?
Yes and no. It had its moments that I was like, this is really cool. I think what got it, because for me, what I liked about it was one of your first superhero movies that we got.
It was during that first major wave.
Yeah. And so we were like, oh, yeah, superheroes on the big screen. And once that kind of faded off, we're just like, oh, this is just a big rolling turd. It had, like I said, it had its moments of being, fun and good, but there was just some moments you're just like, oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't hate the first one. The second one was not very good.
No.
And I love the Silver Surfer. I was excited to see him. They announced, hey, Lawrence Fishburne's going to be the voice. Great.
Yeah.
Love it. But the movie was executed very poorly.
Yeah.
And you made Galactus a giant cloud.
Don't get me started.
Granted, having Galactus as a giant humanoid would be kind of tough to pull off, but it's better than a cloud.
It's what he is.
Yeah. I mean, I wish Fantastic Four was owned by Marvel Studios, because Galactus would be the perfect Avengers villain.
Oh, I agree.
Like, that would be one where Fantastic Four would have to call up, like, Iron Man, Thor, like, all right, guys, we need your help on this one.
Yeah, like, I cannot remember which one it was. I think it was an animated series that I watched with the Avengers where, he was attacking planets, like, near Earth, and Iron Man became, like, the Silver Surfer to try to deter him. And this was the first time that we've seen, because Star-Lord and the Guardians, like, were fighting the Avengers because they were trying to kill Iron Man, and obviously the Avengers were trying to save him, and because nobody knew what Stark was doing, and finally they all teamed up, and like he was just trying to kill or hurt Galactus instead. So I mean, I think it would be great great for the Avengers to be able to do that, and that could be a crossover for the Guardians too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I wish Fox didn't have the rights to that at all.
Yeah, same here. Which, speaking of Avengers, last bit of movie news. This is sad. I feel like we've had a lot of bad news this week. So, Chris Evans previously teased that Avengers 4 is likely his last outing in the MCU as Captain America, but Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has now implied that Evans might not be alone. Of course, Feige didn't say who would be saying goodbye to the MCU in Avengers Infinity War and or Avengers 4, but he did confirm that the long-teased confrontation with Thanos will have some long-lasting fallout, namely that some familiar faces and characters that have been there from the beginning are likely not going to be brought back when their contract expires. When Joe Blow specifically asked if Feige was referring to Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., he gave a typical Feige-like answer. We have another 2 years of hard work to even finish these movies, and they have a lot of hard work to do, so that's all we're thinking about is completing those and delivering on the promise of those. Where it goes beyond that, we'll see. Perhaps these characters will simply be retiring rather than going the way of Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. It's really anyone's guess at this point, however, that probably won't stop the Marvel fandom from speculating. Now, this has been rumored for a while, that Infinity War is basically the culmination of this 10 years of building up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think we'd all be crazy to think that
everybody's coming back.
Yes. So who could you see leaving?
I definitely can see Chris Evans because Falcon has come, into the universe now, and in the comics, the Falcon took over the mantle of Captain America at times, and you were talking about Robert Downey Jr. That's also one that could, because we don't really know who would take his place.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Chris Evans is probably peacing out after this one. I feel like
I could see him being killed off in Infinity War.
Yeah, that would be probably one of the only ways. Or, he's just so tired of seeing S.H.I.E.L.D. do things that they do, and, the backlash from the, the Accord meeting?
Yeah,
from
the Accords.
Yeah. That could still have some lingering effects on, and I could see him either, being killed off or just walking away.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a possibility. I think Robert Downey Jr. leaving is a very real possibility. I think Mark Ruffalo will stay because he's used kind of sparingly as the Hulk, so I could see him being like, oh, I'll keep doing it. I can see them basically having like a new phase of Avengers. Like I could see Doctor Strange being the new Iron Man, like the one who holds everybody together. Because to me, Robert Downey Jr. is the glue that holds all of them together.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is very important. I'm not going to discount that, but I feel like it started with Iron Man, and since then he's been what's held this whole thing together. Yeah. So it would be very different if he was not involved. And I know I personally wouldn't enjoy it as much. I love that they're bringing in Doctor Strange. Love they brought in Spider-Man, which that's already getting really good reviews. They're saying that it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made, which I've said it's not really that hard to do because to me more of them have been not good than good.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3, man. What you talking about?
Yeah. But no, I've heard great things about Spider-Man Homecoming.
I want to see it.
Yeah. So, you think Hemsworth's going to stick around?
Yeah, I think he's sticking around. He's making way too much money being Thor, and all the girls love him.
Yeah.
Me included.
He is a very handsome man.
He is. I'm very sad that the locks are gone in the new one. But I cannot wait for the new Thor movie to just kind of see, my favorite comic book hero and one of my favorite actors on the same screen. I'm talking about you, Jeff Goldblum. I know you watch just because I love you so much.
I'm excited for Ragnarok. I think it's going to be really good.
So good.
If Evans does leave and they want to recast Captain America, who would be a great choice? Not Vin Diesel.
Jeff Goldblum.
Not Jeff Goldblum. Mr. Thomas Brady.
Ew. Ew. Why would you say
He looks like Captain America, like he could be Captain America.
Captain Douchebag, maybe?
Now, granted, I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like the Patriots because they keep the Steelers from making the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I hate the Pats.
But Tom Brady's a handsome man.
He is. Only man I know that can wear Uggs and get away with it. Justice, you cannot.
Well, it's just that cleft he has in his chin. I feel like I could just take a nap in that thing.
I don't know.